right, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's episode, we are going to talk about a new strain that was found in South Africa. So for the obvious reasons, I'm reporting it just because, not reporting it, but discussing it because why not, right? I mean, keep you guys abreast of what's going on. There's a couple of ways you could look at it. I'm going to discuss that in the end. The couple of ways you can look at this new strain, if you will. Nonetheless, it seems to be a problem in South Africa. In a couple of days, in a couple of days, they created, or this new strain created 10,000 new cases in a day. That's pretty hard to digest, but whatever. This is what they're saying. So, at this point right now, there's a new strain in England and there's a new strain in South Africa, and both of them are two entirely different strains. So the thinking that, well, maybe, somebody from Africa or South Africa went to England, or England went to South Africa, that's pretty much out the window. But nonetheless, it seems to be a concern for the obvious reasons that I'm going to discuss a little later. So this strain in South Africa seems to be more communicable, and it's worse in the sense, not death, but in the sense that you are going to be severely ill. So I guess it's worse than what we have here, where people are getting sick. Now, I knew a guy who just got over COVID who said that was by far the worst body pain he's ever had in his entire life. He felt like he couldn't move. He said that every time he moved around, it was more than a challenge, and he said his spine was killing him. He said he was in excruciating pain. So that being said, and everybody's pain threshold is different. He's a big guy. He can take pain very well. That being said, obviously there is something to this COVID. Like I said, I'm never going to say it's fake. I am going to say they're going overboard with the restrictions, but I also do believe that those who get it, they're going to experience different, they're going to have a different experience with the COVID. His was the first time I heard of anyone describing it being that bad of body pain. For the most people that I've asked about who had COVID, and I asked about it, they said that they couldn't get out of bed. And if they got out of bed thinking they were okay, they're ready to fall over because they got dizzy. So again, there is something to it. I'm not saying it's fake, but I'm going to say the restriction rates or levels of restrictions around the world are insane. So anyway, back to the South Africa strain. Like I said, they just said it's more severe. So if people are having severe reactions here with COVID, I can't imagine what this one might do to people here should that strain make its way here to the United States. Now, before I go on, if they are that concerned about these strains, if COVID is that bad, they should be going on automatic flight restrictions. So no one going to or from South Africa and no one going to or from England. But I haven't heard those restrictions yet. So obviously they're playing the restriction card when they want and how they want and who benefits from it. The airlines. The airlines make money and they pay the politicians' pockets, right? This is why airlines are not being affected. If you truly believed COVID is that bad, then you should shut down all air traffic. Just a thought. So, like I said, this strain seems to be has a severe reaction in younger people. So that means people are probably getting the worst body aches of their lives, the worst headaches of their lives. They haven't gone down over the symptoms other to say that it's just more severe in younger people. They didn't discuss the age ranges either. So they mean younger people. They're talking about kids. They're talking about 18-year-olds and 23-year-olds. Like, what younger people, right? I know they're not talking about us 40-year-old and over because we're fucking old. So we're out of that inclusion, if you will. Now this version is called 501.V2. The V2 I always thought meant version. If that means version 2, then where the hell was version 1? Did they detect version 1 and it wasn't that bad? Did they release version 2 and then, okay, we got this on lock? How did they test for this version of it? I mean, how are they testing for these mutations? There has to be something else presenting itself for doctors to go, oh shit, we gotta test this guy out a little more thoroughly, or this woman out a little more thoroughly, to see if it's COVID or something else. You just don't all of a sudden test people and find out, let's see what version of the coronavirus they have, or if it mutated. There is something presenting itself that they're not saying that is the reason why they're testing it, or there's something else amiss going on. I'm not going to get into depth about it because that, again, the conspiracy theory hole, it just never ending. Just saying that it's a little weird that these two viruses pop up just as the fear train started to slow down. At the vaccine push, people are against it. So they come out with two new strains that are more severe, not deadly, just severe in its reaction and how you perceive COVID, or how you deal with COVID in your body. And now they come up with these two strains, and you're like, okay, that's kind of a little telling, if you will, that, all right, people are stepping back from the fear train and be like, oh, okay, it's not that bad anymore. Boom, let's hit them with two new viruses. Now, South Africa's second wave started back in mid-November. So again, why all of a sudden are they testing people for this new mutation? How did they know they had a new mutation? Usually you know of a different mutation when something else is presented, like I said before, and they're not saying what it is. Like I said earlier, they had 10,000 cases in a day. Maybe that was the reason for them testing it. Maybe they looked at it and go, wait, 10,000 new cases in a day? And maybe they tested it for that? It could be so. Nonetheless, both of them are very communicable, meaning more contagious than the previous one we're dealing with. The current one we're dealing with is another designation, guys, D614G. So I didn't even know we had different designations, but apparently Italy has its own mutation designation. We have one. California, or the West Coast, has one. China, though the D16G came from China. So guys, like I said, the fear train has slowed down, and now two more strains have come out, not including the one in Denmark, which also scared scientists. So they say scientists are pussy. So whenever they write it's scaring scientists are scared of their own fucking shadows, if you ask me. So, enough of the scientists are scared, or they're more concerned. They're concerned about every fucking thing. They're concerned about the super volcano that's probably never going to explode. And yes, I was on Doomsday Prepper for that stupid tidbit. They're worried about the sun getting too close, or the sun might explode tomorrow. Scientists are fucking terrified of everything. So every time they have a scientist are worried, they worry themselves into the grave. This is what they do. They overthink and analyze everything. That being said, these two new strains, if they're that concerned, lock down London, lock down South Africa, no in or out. That's how you tackle it. I am not a smart man. I am not a scientist. I am not a politician. But I know that if I was dealing with something like COVID and we were that concerned and it was that real, it was that deadly, we'd be locking shit down. But instead, they're locking down restaurants. They're telling you in your home you shouldn't have guests over. But they're not locking down airlines. They're keeping Walmart and Target open. That's a fucking petri dish. But nope, let's shut down the small businesses and screw them over. Anyway, guys, that's you know where I'm going with this. I don't want to say it, but this is turning out to be either something real or more fear mongering. I haven't decided yet. That's why I'm monitoring both situations closely to see where it goes. Though here's the other kick in the nuts, which is why I started looking at this as fear mongering, because in both articles, why do both articles, one from the UK, one from South African News, both health experts in the article say, well, this shouldn't affect the current vaccine that's out? How the fuck did they know? How do they know? They shouldn't say anything other than they should start testing it to see if it works. But instead, they're saying, well, it shouldn't affect the vaccine's effect. That the effect of the vaccine should still take out both mutations. Fucking how? You don't even know for a fact. You just learned about these two, and now you're still throwing that out there first. That shows you that there is no trust in this vaccine from the people if they keep trying to force feed us this bullshit. Anyway, guys, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. You can also head over to my podcast channel. I'm putting up a bunch of new podcasts this week as well. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Oh, and Merry Christmas if I don't see you guys again. which you probably will. But nonetheless, Merry Christmas.